Hey guys, first regardsman here, and I'll be talking about a Thunderhammer Assault build for Space Marine 2 patch 11.0. Now, this was recorded on the public test server, but 99% of things remain the same between the public test server and the live patch. If there is a major difference, I'll put it in the pinned comment or description, but for now, the Overcharge perk on the Assault did get fixed in patch 11.0. Damage from charged melee attacks increases by 25%. Now properly affects the Thunderhammer Ground Slam, Aftershock, Chainsword Bash, and stuff like that in all weapons. Now in patch 10, this perk was working for parts of the Thunderhammer anyways, but either way, it is properly fixed in patch 11.0, which is pretty nice, and the Thunderhammer also got some added buffs thanks to some perks now properly functioning. Now the variant I've chosen today is the Block Thunderhammer because really on the Assault you want full damage, and block charges are absurdly effective on the Thunderhammer now, especially with the fixes to Aftershock improved, where now Aftershock's additional smash will benefit off of Overcharge, and they also fixed the perk over here after Aftershock. So Aftershock better than ever right now, and that's why we're building for Perpetual Strength first, moving here into the perk Fast Preparation. Aftershock preparation times reduced by 30%. This perk is pretty mandatory on basically any Thunderhammer build. The Aftershock is the most damaging attack on this weapon, and it's not affected by speed whatsoever in its charge time, so having this perk is like the only way to reduce the charge time for it, and it's a pretty useful option. And the perk up here, Calm Before the Storm, sucks, so kind of a no-brainer. Next perk here, Perpetual Strength, moving up here into the perk Perpetual Strength once again for a 10% melee damage increase. Then we grab the perk combo here, Shattering Impact and Seismic Chain. Now, Ground Slam is very strong in this game. Ground Slam also benefits from the perk Overcharge as well, so the damage of this is pretty damn high, especially on a block hammer, and Shattering Impact just lets you get that extra AoE to actually properly catch some Majors for an execute and stuff like that. Pretty great perk combo here. I currently think Shattering Impact and Seismic Chain are significantly better than Extremis Slayer and Reclamation are, and the perk I take after these two is Perpetual Strength, moving down here into the perk after Aftershock. After hitting an enemy with Aftershock, you deal 10% more melee damage for 10 seconds. This perk is now properly functioning in patch 11.0. It was previously busted in the patch 10.0 for like 2 months now, but now it works, which is pretty funny because like I don't know why it takes them so long. But either way, the way this perk works is that it will trigger off of any hit from Aftershock whatsoever, even the initial swing of your weapon. So you can get the initial swing and then have that 10% melee damage buff for both of the Aftershock slams, so keep that in mind. Better than it actually sounds in a lot of cases. There's also Effector Ground Pound and stuff like that afterwards. Next perk here is Kill Streak, which sucks ass, but we have to pick this one up to move into the perk here, Aftershock Improved. Aftershock gains an additional smash. Like I said before, this perk is now properly functioning on the second smash with perks like Overcharge, and this perk is already like one of the best Aftershock perks in the entire game. Significantly better in my opinion than the perk up here, Patience Rewarded, but this perk is by no means bad. I think this one's just better for like the whole overall build. And the next perk after this is Minotaur Slayer, and the final perk is Majora Slayer because having that extra Majora damage is very useful for us. And I don't think the perk over here, Dead End, Pommel Smash damage, it deals 50% more damage, is super useful on the Assault unless you're running like Winged Fury or something, and we're not doing that today, so I'm picking it up this way, and that's pretty much all there is for the Thunderhammer build. Now for my secondary weapon here, I do take the standard bolt pistol. This thing got a base damage buff on all variants in patch 11.0, and now the firepower variant kind of hits like a truck, but to be honest, they are all very strong at the moment. Their CHP recovery is way better, and on top of all of that, they all have equivalent gunstrike damage to the heavy bolt pistol now, which is kind of insane. This weapon is basically power crept this one entirely. Bolt pistol is just the meta now, and it's super fun to use. And for the perk tree here, let's go down the top row for things like Headhunter and Gunstrike Reload, and of course the most important perk here, Elite Hunter. After killing a Major's level or higher enemy with a melee weapon, headshots deal 50% more damage for 10 seconds. Now this perk will trigger off of any execute, not just a melee kill, and a 50% headshot damage bonus for 10 seconds makes you positively nuke enemies down, especially if you have the perk here, Auxiliary Arsenal and Practice Aim combined together for that extra secondary damage. Your weapon will just hit like a truck, super powerful option, and the final perks I grab here are Headhunter, Extended Magazine, Divine Might for more damage. That's pretty much all there is for the secondary, though I will say, if you want to take something like the Plasma Pistol here or the Inferno Pistol, you definitely can. I would set them up like this for the Plasma Pistol and probably just go down the bottom row here for the Inferno Pistol. Here, we're going to do it live. So I would just set up this way for an Inferno Pistol because a lot of people think this perk is good. Motivated Melee is goddamn trash unless they actually fix this thing. I'll put like a little video link up here if you're curious as to why this thing is garbage, but Motivated Melee is just not a good perk at all, so don't take this. That's pretty much all there is for the secondary. Now for the assault perk tree here, I do take the perk Overcharge because that's kind of the whole crux of this build. Damage from charged melee attacks increases by 25%. This will allow you to one combo things like Rubric Marines and stuff like that. Super powerful off a single charge, and charge attacks in this game are just very strong in general because for some reason, Space Marine 2 really prioritizes heavy attacks over light, so pretty much all heavy attacks are superior to light counterparts in most cases, and this one is no different to help that out. Next perk here is Auxiliary Arsenal. Secondary weapons damage increases by 20%. This perk, like I mentioned before, makes your bolt pistol hit like a truck, though if you want to take Defense Mechanism or Consecutive Execution, all of these perks in this column are very powerful, and that is up to you. The next perk I take here is Knowledge of the Enemy. Melee damage increases by 15% against Majoris or Extremis level enemies, and the perk after this is Strategic Strikes. All of your squad members deal 20% more melee damage against Extremis and Terminus level enemies. And this one just helps out your ground pound a ton on top of your Aftershock hits versus Extremis, and usually those are the ones you want to be slamming down the hardest, so a really good perk for that. But if you want to take Proven Efficiency, you definitely could. Next perk here is Smiting Angel. Ground pound's damage increases by 25%. Moving here into the perk Zealous Blow. A ground pound kill restores jump packs charged by 10%. This perk is god tier on Assault. The amount of value this perk actually generates is substantially higher than things like Maneuverability and Wings of Flame. Even if you're fighting Chaos, landing on an entire horde of enemies and getting like an Execute on one Majoris on top of wiping out the entire Minoris swarm and getting your jump pack back is kind of absurd at times. That's why I like this combo here with Smiting Angel, because this one really helps you pick up kills for this, so a very good option. The next perk here is Pride and Duty. After a finisher, ground pound deals 25% more damage for 10 seconds. This will trigger off of any finisher in the game, including Minoris and gun strikes and stuff like that, so really easy to pull off. And 25% more damage for 10 seconds is a pretty chunky damage increase for very long uptime, and this will also just like instantaneously go off rather than like having you basically charge up your attack. Now, some people think they have to charge up their ground pound to get like full damage on it without this perk. That's just not the case. Your ground pound does the same damage charged or not unless you take Diligence, so just keep that in mind. So Pride and Duty is actually better than it sounds. Final perk here is Ample Ammunition. Any use of jump pack reloads the equipped ranged weapon, increases damage by 50% for 10 seconds. A 50% damage increase to your ranged weapon for 10 seconds on top of all the other range damage buffs is pretty ridiculous at times. Really helps you pick up kills on enemies you just land on if like they don't instantaneously die. Really useful option, especially for things like zoanthropes and stuff like that, so I like to pick it up quite a bit. If you want to take like the classic perk combo here of Commitment on top of Aerial Grace, you can definitely do that, but that's up to you. That's pretty much all there is for the Assault perk tree. Now for the Prestige perks here, I do take Unyielding Oath first. When charging a ground pound, you become invulnerable to damage for 3 seconds. This perk simply allows you to make decisions you would otherwise be unable to, because you'll be able to phase through things like Neurothrope waves, Neurothrope laser beams, and even the Terminator Soul Cannon, so really useful for that, which is why I pick it up. Next perk here is Adrenaline Boost that gives you no knockback for 10 seconds on a perfect parry, block, or dodge. Pretty self-explanatory why this perk is good, because getting knocked around and stun-locked in Space Marine 2 is like the #1 way to die, and a Thunder Hammer is a very slow weapon on all versions compared to the other options, and getting animation locked and stun-locked just sucks ass, so definitely pick this one up. Next perk here is Fortitude. Health increases by 15%. HP increases in Space Marine 2 are very valuable, and the Assault doesn't really have a ton of tank perks whatsoever, which is really good for him. And the final perk here is Practice Aim. Range damage increases by 15% because this perk combined with this one gives you a ton of extra secondary weapon damage and feels really good, especially versus the Neurothropes and stuff like that. That's pretty much all there is to this build, guys. The Thunder Hammer feels way better with the proper fixes in patch 11.0. The Assault is a ton of fun to play these days. It's also a very strong class for things like True Solo and that, because he has a ton of Nova damage to just wipe out Extremis during boss spawns. Really epic class at the moment, and Block Thunder Hammer, you know, this thing hits like a truck. Content like this, subscribe for more, and here's some actual gameplay of this thing in action, and as always, take it easy, bye.
Xenos hungers insatiable, but the Imperium is in jump pack review. The Imperium's hammer rises to strike. The Zoanthrope's skull is so worthy. Another alien falls to the Imperium's key.
lot of damage.
That pitiful Xenos is but no horrid blood. Jump up to fuel. He is an angel of death. Swapping magazine. The world this Xenos sought to conceal now can fully enjoy its own. I am the righteous storm. That pitiful Xenos was but no horrid blood. I have airborne ready magazine. The world this Xenos sought to conceal now consumes its power. Shield your minds! Avenging angel will expose you. Fitting, the Ravener dug its own grave. Wrath shall reign. The Xenos infestation stems for now. We have purged the Zoan from Divine hand.
Shit. Okay. Am I touring? I certainly am touring something. Oh shit. Actually, not too bad.
Overcrowding alert. Generator 1. Unauthorized personnel. Observe your duties.
Be as an angel of death. Avenging angel will expose you. They continue to damage our generator. Commencing reload. Jump pack refuel.
I think people allow themselves to dream because of the curveball that was RBDs. I'm sure we'll get like a Satari or something one day, but the thing is, Games Workshop is really strict until they give out like AdMech 2 and stuff like that. Like getting a Space Marine and Dark Tide would be very difficult for them. It also just kind of seems like Games Workshop doesn't like Fat Shark compared to like most other companies, because Fat Shark kind of gets shit on a lot. Rightfully so, because Fat Shark does take a tragic amount of time to get some updates out for their games, and like really important updates, especially considering other games that are currently releasing from similar sized studios, and then they go on vacation for like a month at a time.
drive is jammed. Perform the necessary cleansing to resume operation.
Avenging angel, you have spoken. The Zoanthropus force to be trampled.
I have only one buff I want for Assault, no more. Commitment becomes a passive and replace whatever passive. I mean, Commitment should be a passive. It's kind of stupid. You shouldn't have, like, one perk that basically says, alright, this ability of your class is now usable. Like, the Jump Pack Dash is just never worth using with that Commitment. Sandwich between the fans and the good old Games Workshop. Games Workshop is kind of a pain in the ass to work with. They do kind of, like, unnecessarily strict with their IP, as if, like, anybody really gives a fuck about perfect representation in a video game when half the games they're in, like, don't even have perfect representation anyways. Like, maybe some, like, out-of-pocket shit. Like, okay, guys, guess what? Horus was actually good the whole time in our game. I doubt they'd allow that. But the stuff like, okay, what's the perfect power level, like representation of the armor? Like, how many people actually give a fuck? You already have crazy out-of-pocket shit like that in, like, Rogue Trader anyways. With, like, one Sister of Battle fighting Companion Shard.
Reloading magazine. Jump pack refuel. The armory dies. Take flight! Let terror fall! The hive mind sends revolt. Smoking magazine. So-and-so, shield your mind. The world this Xenos sought consumed, now consumes its touch. Your reign of terror is ended. Jump pack refuel. Take flight! Let terror fall! We eliminated the shrouded menace.
What's up with the stream title, though? Well, I mean, the stream title is exactly what I'm doing, which is playing the new operations on the test server, as it was.
I'm airborne ready. Reloading magazine. Commencing reload. Avenging fiery retribution.
Okay.
I am airborne ready. That Ravener shall carve no more scars tonight. Jump pack refuel. This sector is cleansed of tyranny presence.
Pretty
Your
much.
heads and get it
Pretty
done.
dumb, but
They're on to us.
so you have to parry a little bit before you actually want to parry. Yeah, you do with balanced weapons. That's probably the worst because you'll actually get frame trapped occasionally by them.
Reloading magazine. Filthy Xenos only flying to your head. Time to get my hands.
My balance sucks. Yep.
The bulk of the
Precisely.
swarm is continuing along the predicted path. Continue holding. I am airborne ready. The world this Xenos sought to conceal is now consumed. No alien coming from the refinery. The Imperium's hammer rises to strike. Avenging angel will expose you. The Xenos infestation is stemmed. Halfway there, brothers. Keep it up. Xenos source consumed. Now consumed. I'm airborne ready. They are scaling the wall. Tyranids on the approach. Winnow them down.
Crowd control? What crowd? Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Where like a block hammer kind of deletes the crowd, and the heroic thunder hammer is like a damage over time on them, which is pretty good. It's just, why would I want that over just, you know, instantaneously killing all of them? That's how I feel.
The swarm has almost fully collected. Be ready for my mark.
But you could set up like a gunstrike build. I'll probably do that next. That sounds pretty fun.
Avenging angel will expose you. Another alien falls.
This is not a stream from the past, Sphinx. This is the here and now.
My war gear is satisfied. You are clear to detonate. Cook those rotten bastards. Yes, Captain. You heard him.
Let's go over here. Slam the button.
Titus, this is Vespasis. I stand amidst the Biocides down 90% and falling. Swarm annihilation confirmed.
As the Overcharge Assault finally fixed up, block Thunderhammer. This thing is absolutely fucking slaps now. I think we need a stim on there. Granted, we did have the bot help.
Extraction complete. Returning to orbit.
I mean, Heroic Thunderhammer is fencing, so a Gunstrike build is the only way for Assault, pretty much. We'll do that one next. That's 60,000 damage. That's big.